Man, that Ravens Jaguars game sure was something. Like, holy crap, what a game that was. It may not look like anything too crazy with that final score, 27-3 and all, but still, that game was fun to watch, and there are definitely some highlight plays that came out of it. Like, Isaiah Likely had that insane catch in the third quarter while he was being double covered, and then he just got lit up on the play after the catch. It was all actually very impressive, and just such a nice catch. Isaiah Likely is just such a beast, really stepping up for Mark Andrews since he's been gone. I love watching this dude play. Isaiah Likely, such a beast. Also, on that play I was just talking about, there were actually two highlights. Lamar Jackson freaking escaped Dwayne Smoot's sack twice. Like, first, he legit spun out of his arms. It was kind of just like an arm tackle. Dwayne Smoot was kind of reaching for him, but he was still able to spin out of it and just roll out to the right a little bit, but then he kind of like stepped up into the pocket and delivered that beautiful throw to Isaiah, and he took a shot as well as he threw that pass. Both them guys took shots on that play, but still did their job. Great play by both guys. The announcers really hyped up Lamar Jackson on that play, but I feel like both guys really deserve a lot of credit. Freaking Isaiah Likely double covered, got lit up as soon as he caught it. The guy in front of him almost caught the ball, so he pretty much had to rip it from his hands. So I feel like Isaiah Likely should have got a lot more credit than he got on that play. It was beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong, that was a great play by Lamar breaking two sacks and being able to deliver the ball while getting hit. That was beautiful. Both guys deserve a lot of credit. I just don't think Will Likely got enough there. Beautiful play. The Jaguars did have a couple of highlight plays themselves as well, though. Like that 65-yard touchdown to Jamal Agnew, where he was just wide open, running down the left sideline. All you kind of had to do is make the safety miss a little bit by going right. The safety is going way too much like ahead of him. So Jamal got the wide open pass, went a little bit to the right, easy touchdown. I freaking love Jamal Agnew, one of my favorite NFL players, man. He's fun to watch. He returns punts against the Broncos all the time. But man, one of my favorite NFL players, Jamal Agnew, hell of a guy. Glad to see him make a highlight play this game. Another highlight play by the Jags was Calvin Ridley's insane catch that he had that set up the Jags on the goal line. That was a huge highlight worthy play. Unfortunately, what happened after that wasn't, but man, that catch was great by Calvin. So yeah, like pretty much after that amazing catch by Calvin, that's when they were set up at the goal line right before half, and that's when the Jaguars made the biggest boneheaded mistake that I've ever seen. It felt like I was watching Nathaniel Hackett and the Broncos out there with how bad they were like doing the clock management. They had like 9 seconds left, and Trevor Lawrence decided to throw the ball just short of the goal line and inbounds. And his guy got tackled inbounds, so the time just kept going with 9 seconds left. And of course, they ran out of time. There's no way they're going to be able to set up a freaking another play with 9 seconds left. Like, no way. And they ran out of time going into halftime, literally missing four freaking attempts in the red zone. Like that one I'm talking about, of course, just awful clock management. But then the other one was where Trevor Lawrence just fumbled the ball when nobody was around him. It was horrible. Like, it was funny, but it was horrible. Because that was another trip in the red zone wasted. And the Ravens were able just to pick the ball up after that and just take it back a little bit. And the Jaguars lost points there. Both times, Jaguars should have had points, lost points both times. So sad. And then the other couple of failed red zone trips that the Jags attempted were just a couple of misses by Brandon McManus. Like, my man, Brandon McManus did not have a good game today. 0 for 2 in field goals. He had one that was doinked. So I guess he was close there, but man, he did not have a good day. So it really did feel like I was watching Nathaniel Hackett and the Broncos. Bad clock management and Brandon McManus missing kicks. That's the Broncos all over again. It's just crazy how much closer this score could have been if the Jaguars just didn't shoot themselves in the foot over and over, man. Oh, very unfortunate for the Jags. Another thing that's actually very unfortunate for the Jags, Calvin really should have a touchdown. The Jags got absolutely robbed on a touchdown. Calvin had like an amazing catch in the back of the end zone where he was kind of down. He had his legs down. He had his right cheek down. He was down. He was inside bounds. Great Cortland Sutton like catch. Amazing. Kind of like Adam Troutman catch too when he had his knee down. But he was in. If they called Adam Troutman's touchdown a touchdown, Calvin Ridley's touchdown was a touchdown. He was in. It was a touchdown. and they got absolutely robbed. They called it incomplete. Even the announcer said it should have been a touchdown. But man, the Jaguars should have had so much more points than 7. They shot themselves in the foot 4 times, and then the refs shot them in their other foot. So, damn Jags, I feel bad for you on this game. Things just did not go their way at all. After that robbed Jaguars touchdown, the game was 100% over. There is no coming back from that. That happened kind of late in the game where the touchdown probably wouldn't have mattered anyway, but still, that was just another freaking just game ender right there. They should have just gone home there. Poor Saps. All of them. Poor Saps. I really did like watching this game though. It's a lot of fun. And I like both these teams. I think it's really fun to watch both of them, of course. But for some reason, I don't understand why the Jaguars don't use Travis Etienne a little bit more. Him only having 10 carries is a little bit wild to me. Like, he did have 4 catches, but I really like seeing Travis Etienne on the field and seeing him get used. I feel like if they would have gave him more carries, they probably would have had a better chance of doing a little bit more out there. Because, man, I really love Travis Etienne on the field, and they definitely got to use him more. Like, come on. I know their O-line's pretty bad. That's probably why they don't use him as much, but come on, man. I like that D'Ernest Johnson got a couple carries in this game. That's cool to see. I like D'Ernest Johnson. But no, get Travis Etienne more involved. More than 10 carries. Like, you got Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball 43 times. I think that's insane. Trevor Lawrence throws the ball 43 times while the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's throwing the ball 24 times. Like, he's throwing it almost double that Lamar is throwing it. That's insane. The freaking Jags need to use their run game more like the Ravens do. The Ravens have like a top run game. They always have the top run game and they're always freaking great. Like the Jags need to learn. I know Lamar Jackson is a big part of this backfield, but Gus Edwards is freaking great. I don't think Gus Edwards should be getting like more carries than Travis Etienne though. Like I love Gus Edwards. Like I said, he's great, but definitely like if he's getting 16 carries, give Travis Etienne 16 carries. Give Travis 20 carries. I don't know though. I really like this Ravens backfield. They've been able to stay healthy for the most part. I say that though, as Keaton Mitchell went down this game with an injury, which is so unfortunate because he was rushing pretty hard out there. 9 for 73. That's a hell of a stat line with how much other guys are getting carries out there, you know. So that's awesome to see. I hope his injury isn't slowing him down too much and he's able to get back out there and do something. Because man, he was fun to watch too. The main guy though that I think is like the funnest guy to watch though is Lamar Jackson by far, man. The way that Lamar Jackson is just able to make guys miss without it like looking hard at all. It looks like he's straight up just walking around guys. Like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, and he's just like moving around guys like it's nothing. Like they're not even trying to tackle him. It's insane. He freaking just it's insane. I freaking love Lamar Jackson. Definitely one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league right now. Just entertaining as hell. I know, like, huge part of the run game, like I was saying, but he could also pass like a mofo. Him and Isaiah Likely are a hell of a connection. I know Mark Andrews is, the number 1 tight end, but is Isaiah Likely, man? I know him and Lamar are going to be freaking together for a while, man. That's got to be his number 1 guy moving forward, especially kind of with this receiving crew being a little bit weak. I do like him. Rashad Bateman's really good. Odell is good. They got to catch the ball. Odell had a bad drop, but as long as they catch the ball, there's some pretty good names in there. Zay Flowers had a quiet game, only 1 for 7. If he has a hot game, he could carry this offense a little bit. But yeah, no, this rush game is great. And Isaiah Likely definitely probably going to end up being the favorite target for Lamar Jackson. Unless Mark Andrews comes back healthy and they have a 1-2 punch at tight end, that would be insane. That would be insane. I would just like to see like a really elite receiver in this offense though. Like there's no crazy game changing like Devontae Adams type or Justin Jefferson type, like none of them guys. Maybe Zay Flowers could be one someday, but I mean they just need one now. Especially if they're gonna be in the playoffs. They need some pass catcher to be like have a 100-yard game now. I mean, I guess you could argue that they might not need that if they have the rushing game doing this every week, like working like it did. But I don't know. I like to see both working great. So I don't know. The Ravens know what they're doing more than I know, so I'm sure they'll be fine anyway. Either way. Like the Ravens offense is stacked and so is their defense. Their freaking defense is always stacked. I constantly be drafting the Ravens defense in fantasy and they never disappoint. Kyle Hamilton's all young and he's out there developing amazingly. Marcus Williams, I think, got hurt in this game, unfortunately. Marlon Humphrey. This dude is always a beast, constantly. And then of course they also got Roquan Smith. Man, this top four lineup, these guys are insane. And then you throw Patrick Queen, Odafe Owe, Brandon Stevens is out there playing good. And then they have freaking Jadeveon Clowney playing his best season ever. That's freaking wild to see out of nowhere. But I mean, I guess Jadeveon is a good fit here, I think. He really just gets to do what he's best at. He did kind of have a quiet game this season, but yeah, he's having his best season this season for sure. They really rejuvenated Jadeveon, so that's awesome. Also got to shout out Justin Matabike, and I didn't know they had Ronald Darby. That's awesome. Former Bronco. But yeah, no, this freaking defense is just stacked, and plus they held the Jaguars to just 7 points. It may have been mainly the Jaguars' fault being held to that many points, but still, good on the defense. Still got to give them credit for that. For the Jaguars, kind of like what I was saying a bit ago, I don't want to see Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball 43 times. I mean, maybe it's good and he's a really good quarterback and do want the game in his hands sometimes. But man, help him out. Give the running game a little bit more of a try. Give Travis 15, 16, 17, 20 carries, see what happens, man. And then for the receivers, I do like the receiving core. Like I said a bit ago, Jamal Agnew, one of my favorite players. Calvin Ridley, I like a lot. But they need Christian Kirk. The Jaguars didn't have Christian Kirk out there. He's on injury. But man, he has 787 yards this season. He's gotten that offense to move, man. They need him out there. It'll be nice to see him back in the mix. And hopefully they get another receiver in the draft or something, because I think they could use that for sure. And O-line, of course, but another receiver would be nice. The Jaguars' defense is also missing a couple pieces, like Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco, and a few other guys. So that's never good, having your secondary be a little bit weaker. But the guys up front, Trayvon Walker, he had a pretty good, decent day today. Josh Allen, he really didn't. Josh Allen, of course, is a beast. We all already know. So him having a slow game is really nothing because he's already elite. But Trayvon Walker, it's good to see him get a sack. He's kind of looking more decent. That's his 6th sack of the season. He's always going to be compared to Aiden Hutchinson. So Aiden already has 6.5. So Trayvon is only a half a sack behind Aiden. So that's not bad. He's kind of developing pretty decently. Hopefully next season Trayvon Walker just explodes. I want to see Trayvon Walker go off. I want to see Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker both have 10 sacks. Is that impossible? I don't think so. If they live up to their potential, I don't think so. Could you imagine Josh Allen and Aiden Hutchinson though? Ooh, that would be crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm rooting for Trayvon Walker. Like I said, I want to see him explode. Next season, hopefully. Or maybe he'll pass Aiden this season in sacks. It's still young. There's still a few games left. Maybe he'll pass him. We'll see. There is going to be compared, like I said, so we'll have to keep an eye on it ourselves as well. Oh, Adam Goxick got a sack in this game, former Bronco. I'm always going to shout out former Broncos. Have to. Freaking Adam Goxick. Hell yeah. And then Dwayne Smoot down here, he almost had a sack twice. Unfortunately, he did not. Poor guy. You know, Jamal Agnew is a hell of a return guy. That's cool to see. He makes hella solid returns, and then out of nowhere will make a hell of a highlight play, either in the return game or just as a normal receiver. Freaking great player. The Jaguars do need help on this defense, though. It does look a little weak, especially just like here on paper. It looks a little weak. And out there, they weren't able to stop the Ravens' run game really at all. So the Jags are definitely going to have to do some work in the offseason. I guess what team doesn't need work in the offseason, though? Some more than others, though. Either way, I like both of these teams. I'm always rooting for both these teams. I want to see both succeed, of course. Not more than the Broncos. I'm always rooting for the Broncos to win the Super Bowl every year, but I want to see both these teams do good, too. I'll definitely be rooting for the Ravens in the playoffs, unless they come across the Broncos, of course. Or I guess when they do. No, I don't know. We still got a few more games left of the season. Who knows how the playoffs are going to fully shape out. We'll all find that out later. And I'll be going over it then. So hell yeah, stay tuned for all that. And I appreciate all y'all for watching. If you made it this far, thank you for clicking on the video. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. I'm not your boss. I'm not going to make you do anything. But if you like the video, you know, like and subscribe. It throws me out there if you want. But yeah, no, thanks again. I really appreciate y'all. Peace.